Good afternoon, Itigo23 here. I don't really know how to start the video. I've been home for like 6.5 minutes. But in front of me, there's a box that is labeled NuTone. So I'll let you look at this box. You can see Cincinnati, Ohio. Apparently it's fragile. I'll get back to that. But this side tells you what it is. This is one NuTone S-245 smoke detector. It's a 12-volt DC system detector, so this will be pretty interesting to open up. Here was the original order form. That's where it would have been if it was ever installed, which it was not. This was 2 of 4 on the tally list, so I wonder if they had multiple of these. But let's open the box. And let's see just what we're getting into. Right. Ooh, nifty, nifty. So here we see, after pulling out the unit in the bracket, here's the metal bracket. We see that this is actually a pretty rare smoke detector. Now, this is kind of similar to the Gentex 710 smoke detector that I have, which I'll pull out here in just a minute to compare it with. But you notice it's only got half the vents. Now, this is an older design that was manufactured before the models with the full sets of vents were introduced, because those were introduced in 1984. And this one, if we bring it around back here, you won't be able to see it that clearly, but it was made November 6th of 1979. There's your UL tag if you want to read it. And another difference you'll notice, apart from the main tag being missing, which is unfortunate, you'll see that this is also direct wire. So this does not have a harness that you can unplug, but rather this is a direct wire smoke detector. So you have your main red and black as your power input, but this is a 4-wire detector. So I think your orange and your gray here are your power outputs. I'm not entirely sure with this detector. I'll have to go through the manual, which, speaking of which, they have so graciously included. I'll pilfer through that whenever I feel like it. Actually, I'll pilfer through it at the end of the video because I want to show you something. Yep. So here is the front of the unit again. I'll let you pause to read some of the info on there. Yeah. So here in just a moment, I'll be back with my Gentex 710cc so I can show you the differences. Alright, over here is the NuTone S-245 that we were just looking at. And over here is my Gentex 710cc, which is from 1987. A couple of obvious differences. Well, for starters, the S-245 does not have a horn of any sort because it's a system smoke detector, whereas the 710cc does. Also something I just noticed. You look into the corners up here, and you'll see that the corners up here on the S-245 are way less pronounced than those on the 710. Another little minute detail, you see the power indicator on the 710 has a diffusing lens, whereas the S-245 does not. You'll also see a little bit of lowercase on the S-245. Like right there, that's lowercase right there. And also their branding is lowercase. And also, it's not embedded like into the plastic, it's embossed out. Unlike here on the Gentex 710, you can see here. Also, there's this text on the 710 that the S-245 does not have. And a little pet peeve is that the test knob on this is like insanely stiff. I'm gonna have to free that up, and then it doesn't want to mount to its mounting bracket, which I'll have to fix. And that's another difference that I want to go over with these two units real quick. So before I do that, here's the back of the 710cc compared to the back of the S-245. You'll notice that the S-245 is much simpler because it's missing like the majority of its stickers. But again, the S-245 is direct wire. You could see they made a plug on the 710 models, and this one you could see is dated November of 1987. Here's the sticker that is on here for the 710. And here's another difference I want to go over. While the NuTone S-245 here has a metal mounting base, the 710 has a plastic mounting base, or at least this one does. Now, I will say this, later models of the 710 did have a metal mounting base. This is just on my example, because my example is so old, but like these plastic bases are less common on these units here. But yeah, so here in just a moment, I'll see if I can get the test knob on the S-245 freed up, and I will see about testing it for you guys if I can. So I'll be back to see if I can give you any good news. Alright, with a battery, we could see that this detector is pulling. So let me see if I can get the battery to stay, and I'll try and test it for you guys. We're barely powered, so let's see if I can do this without disconnecting it. Alright. Oh, interesting. That's an interesting test sequence on this one. So that's what it looks like in alarm condition. Let's go ahead and bring it back to normal. Okay, so I think this is latched. So yeah, that is my video on the NuTone S-245. One more thing I want to go over. I want to go over the quote-unquote special test knob that they say in the manual. I'll let you read through that. But what they say is true. That's what I really like about any of these Gentex based units, is that twisting this knob right here is actually testing the sensor. And I've always found that so cool in these older Gentex units, whether it be half vent or normal like the 710, excuse me. But yeah, that'll do it on this video of low quality specials or whatever. This is the NuTone S-245. Remember, this is not its default state, it's just latched in alarm right now, so I bet you. Right, it's powered off now. I'll figure it out later. But, yeah, that was the NuTone S-245 for y'all. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate your time looking at such an interesting smoke detector today. So, with that, this is Itigo23 signing off. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. I don't think we have power. Now we we definitely don't now.